If you have your Unity installed, you will be able to install different versions of it, right? And we told you to install 2020.3 something. If you want to add right now, today we have 2023.8 F1. Whatever you install, use this LTS long-term support version. So we also have 21 now. So they are updating the versions all the time. Almost every single day, you have different versions. So if you have 2020.3 something, it's great. Unfortunately, I had some issues 2020. So today I'm going to use 19.4 and long-term support version for today. And if there is anything, there shouldn't be anything really affecting our project. But if there's anything, any issue, please let me know. Yeah, I apologize. Today I'm going to use 19.4, but you can follow me with 20.3. So I'm going to create a new, so if you have a lot of different versions, you can create new and select your version. If you have some already made package, you can use add, but we are going to create a new. I'm going to use 19, but you should use 20. And there are different templates. They're all actually effectively similar, it's just different templates. I'm going to use 3D, that's the basic. And I'm going to make it on my desktop. I'm going to name it maybe SDP name 21 generative. Or I'll just say generative city and then say create. All right, so okay, so this is Unity. When you open it, do you see something like this? Yeah. So if you install a Unity, it creates a folder like this. So if you just double click on this folder, you will see a lot of folders here. This will be where you are storing stuff. And this assets folder is actually the same assets folder as this one. So whatever you add and drag, we will drag a lot of files here today. And if you start doing that, you will see that they appear here as well. So it's the same directory. So we are going to create a lot of things here, and you will see a sample scene, and this is your, so you can turn on and off the grid. Probably you already have the grid, and there is this navigation thing. And if you press Alt and use mouse button, you can navigate. So press Alt like Maya, and you can move things around. Okay, and this is the game scene. And this is inspector. So these are really important. So this is called hierarchy window. We will use all of these windows very, very often. And if you want to create something, you can create a game object, or you can right click here and create a object from here. So we will use mostly like right clicking, creating something in the scene, and also create something in the assets folder. And let's say we can create a cube. So if you just right click and create a cube, you will see a cube generated anywhere in the scene. You can click on it. So this hierarchy will show everything that is inside your scene, all the objects that is inside the scene. And in the inspector, it shows the property of that object that you created. So by default, we had this main camera. We had this directional light. And if you don't see anything, you can turn on the gizmos to see the icons. if the icons are too big or too small, you can change this. Or if they're too distracting, you can just turn it off. So that's how you can see all the objects that is inside the scene. And we have a main camera, we have a directional light, and we have a cube right now. So the cube has these properties. We are going to change the position. For example, we can you can left click and drag on X, Y, and Z to change the position, or you can type it. So say 0 or 1, 10, you can. So that's where you can type the position. So you can see that here you see the direction of X and Y and Z. So in Unity, Y is up, and 1 unit in Unity is 1 meter. So it's quite important that you design things in real correct scale, because it also affects the physicality and everything. So just keep that in mind, and we can also position this in 0, 0 just by typing 0 or 0 or 0, or you can right click on transform, say reset. But we will use that a lot. So always try to reset the transform to 0. That's kind of quite important in some cases. So okay, so once you have this cube, you can also change the light setting once, so have a little bit better baked light by I have this lighting window here. Maybe you don't have it there. You can find it from window, rendering, lighting setting. If you go there, and just to have a little bit better lighting, you can turn off baked global illumination and say generate lighting. Just to do that, so have a little bit better lighting, just baked it once, and you will have better scenery. So this is, Hanjun is going to cover a much better visualization tomorrow, but for now, we are going to just accept this white material. Okay, so that's the basic lighting. All right, so if you see this star here, it means whatever you made changes in your scene has not been saved. So you wanna always click Control S to save, to disappear, to make the scene disappear, the star disappear. So if you have any like model of yourself, your house or something, as an OBJ file, feel free to have it ready. In my case, I have a lot of, I have some folder with different models, so I'm going to use my file. So when, and if you want to use mine, you can feel free to use this one. So I'm gonna upload it here. So when you export something from Rhino, you will see this MTL file together with OBJ, right? So in that case, so you want to, so I will have to copy this one too. So I'm going to save this. Okay, I'm going to drag these files. So normally you can just drag it, but because most of the things are on my desktop, so I'm gonna change this directory. I'm sorry. Don't worry. So I have this assets folder. And I'm going to just drag these ones inside this assets folder. And if you have any material and color, make sure that you drag the MTL file together with your OBJ. So I'm going to bring this to and drag that just like this to your directory. So I told you you will have a lot of files accumulated here, so it's better you develop a good habit of making folders and organizing it. So we are going to right click, create a folder and say models. And we are going to bring these imported models in the models folder. And this is your now FBX or OBJ model. You are going to drag this one to your scene. So this is my house model. And my 000 point is somewhere there. If I just reset it, actually my 000 is correct. Yeah. So if you have your model, you can export as OBJ and you can import it. All right. And we are going to add a very simple behavior to this cube, for example. So let's say we have this cube. And here we are going to create a folder called scripts. And here we are going to create a C# script. And we are going to name it cube behavior. So, so a simple script is created, and we are going to connect this one to the cube. So what you can do is you can drag this file directly to the cube from here, or you can select the cube and drag this to the inspector, or you can also say add component and search for your C# code. So there are multiple ways of doing it. And you can now right click, say edit script, or just go there and double click. So to launch the Visual Studio to edit the file. Is that clear? Okay. So what we want to do just to start, we are going to create a very simple behavior for this cube. So there is two there's two methods, default method. One is called start and one is called update. Start is only called one time when you play the game, and the update calculates multiple times every frame while the game is playing. So let me show you what that means. So because I'm inside this cube, so I'm going to use transform, and I'm going to change. So I can use translate, which means moving, and I can use 3 different floats to let the transform to translate to the position, move the amount of the position that I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use 1F, 00F, 00F. F means float, and semicolon. So whenever you finish a sentence or a line, you need to always use a semicolon to close the line. So if you say this line, it means in the start, you will move the cube from 0, 0, from the original position to 1, 0, 0. So if you save this, to make it clear, let me just move this cube back to 0, 0, 0 position. So for now, I'm going to hide this. So you can just hide it by disable the house for now. And you can, I'm going to move this back to 0, 0. And what is going to happen is now, if I play the game, this will become 1, 0, 0. So that's what we called it just now. So we are going to play this. See, this became 1, 0, 0. All right, so this only happened one time. But what if we copy this line to here? As I told you, the update happens every time. The translate will happen multiple times every frame until we stop the game. So we save this game, save this script, and then say play. So this is going forever. The increase is 1. So you can also change the number to be something smaller, 0.1 F. And then if you play now, it's going to be moving slower. See? Okay. So because the translate is going away, so let's use rotate instead. For rotate, you can also comment this out by adding 2 slash to uncalculate it. And then say transform, rotate. We are going to rotate around y-axis, so 0, 0, F and 0.1 F, 0, 0, F, semicolon. So in this case, in the start, the cube will go to the 1, 0, 0 position, and then it's going to rotate this much on y direction, y-axis. Okay, so we play this, and this is keep on rotating until we stop it. Okay, so if you see it here, there's nothing actually. What if we want to have control the speed of the rotation? So you can actually create a public value, and you can actually control it from the inspector. So say public float and rotation speed. This can be anything, rotation speed, and give the default value 0.1 F. All right. And then we are going to connect this rotation speed to the Y rotation. Say save. And then now what's happening is that public rotation speed value is appearing here. All right. So if you now play it is moving, and you can actually change the speed while you are playing the game in the runtime. Okay, so that's the public value. Okay, so this was applied to this cube. All right, what happens? What if I want to make the house also rotate? So,
Hey, Somer.
hi.
I just have a quick question. So how did you load the house into the like say under the sample scene, because like I loaded under the models folder, but
yeah.
it
So
does.
from models folder,
Yeah.
drag it to the scene.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So now I'm going to have this house model. I'm going to maybe move it around so we can see it next to it. And what we are going to do is I'm going to add the same script to this house. So the script was called queue behavior, but it can be also a house behavior, isn't it? So we are going to, so in the house, if you click it, we just have this transform. You can drag this to the inspector. And now we can play this. They all moved one together and then start rotating. And you can actually add the speed separately now. So now this is the value for house, and the cube still have 0.1 value. So that is per objects right now. So you can use the same behavioral script to multiple objects, and they will use different parameters in their runtime.
Sumin, how did you apply that rotation speed to the rotation in the script?
Oh. So here, just copy that line here. This is great. Thank you for the question. Really appreciate it.
And all you have to do is just save, and then it would work?
Exactly.
Oh.
Make sure this is public.
So in C#, after every number, if it's a flow, you have to add F at the end.
Hmm?
In C#, after every number
Line.
that it's like, yeah, like if you have a number that you want it to be like a float, you have to add the F at the end. Like you can't just write.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
yes.
okay.
Yes. The reason is because there's also double. Double is higher bit number, so it will confuse from double to float. So in Unity C#, let's just use float for everything. Yeah. All right. Cool. So yeah. Now this is great. This is a really simple turntable. And now we are going to do another exercise. Oh, one more thing. Okay. Okay, that's okay. So let's create another script here. Say parametric wall script. And then we are going to double click to edit this. I'm going to close this queue behavior. For this one, we are going to delete, or let's say I'm going to make a new scene. So I'm going to save this scene first inside the scenes folder. This was named sample scene. We can just save it. And we are going to make a new scene. So make a new scene and save it. Save scene as, go to the scenes folder, and we are going to say, okay, scene number 2, parametric wall. And we are going to accumulate a lot of different scenes here from now on. And this one, I'm going to rename it to scene number 1, cube turntable.